Alright, and we're back. Instantly for me, but probably like a day or two for you guys. So, how did you guys enjoy that last episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch it? Because if you didn't watch it, go and watch my first Hearthstone video, or else you're going to be completely lost, especially if you've never heard of this game. But, okay, I'm going to pause. Okay, now I'm assuming everybody who hasn't seen the first video has gone and watched it and come back. If not, you're on your own as far as Confusion Lane goes. You're going down Confusion Lane completely solo, okay? Because everybody else knows what page we're on. It's page 77. B. Look it up in the glossary. Okay, so we're going to play Shaman this time. We played Warrior last time. We're going to play Shaman. Basically, oh, and we're going to play against... Who should we play against? Maybe we'll play against the Warrior. Since we just played as the Warrior against the Shaman, it's going to be Inception. I'm telling you what. So... basically, you might be thinking, okay, well, yeah, I know in the last episode, because I watched the last episode, that you said each character has their own special hero power. The Warrior's was gain 2 armor. As we already saw in the last video, the Shaman's power was summon a random totem. But what's the other differences other than that? Well, if I didn't start the game right away and had a little bit more patience before thinking about talking about this, I could have showed you all of the class-specific cards, which I think I briefly showed in the first episode. I kind of went into the collection of cards, and you got to see the class, all the cards. But basically, if you actually just look at these cards, you will see that if you see the background of them, you see this is kind of like gray and I don't know, like a boulder or something like that. Probably not a boulder, but you can see that if you had to pick out the oddball of the backgrounds of these cards, you would probably pick which one? This one, right? How it's like purplish blue and it's got like a, you know, a different kind of look to it. What that means is that this is a Shaman specific card, which is the class that I'm playing. So only Shamans can use this card, which goes more into depth when you're picking which class you want to play. Because not only do you have to think about the hero power that you have, but also about the class specific cards and what kind of synergy you can get with the cards, what kind of cards go best with other kind of cards. And so you're thinking, all right, well, these are the Shaman specific cards. What are these cards? What are these cards with just these backgrounds? Well, these are just neutral cards, and any deck can have these. So you basically, your decks are always consists of one of your classes and then those class specific cards mixed with the neutral cards. And then you mix them all together to make a deck. Now, I don't really have to explain much about this, except for the fact that we are now going second, which is what it said in the beginning over here. It kind of like flips a coin in the beginning to see who, you know, it flips a virtual coin to see who goes first. Perks about going second, you get an extra card. As you can see, I have 4 here to pick from, as you know, compared to last time when I only had 2, or 3, sorry. Also, there's another benefit, but first let's go ahead and pick out which ones we want to keep and which ones we don't, to at least for the start. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the 1, and I'm going to keep the 3, even though it's kind of high up. But as you can see, it gives all your other minions have +1 attack. And I don't even know if I want to keep this, but I'm going to. All your other minions have +1 attack. It kind of works well if you summon a totem beforehand, because like I said, normally the totems, if you remember from last game, they don't have they usually don't have any attack. So if you give them +1 attack, it's kind of like a weird, all of a sudden, 1 attack that you have on the board out of nowhere. So I'm going to go ahead and keep these 2, and I'm going to go ahead and mulligan those 2. I'm going to get 2 more. I got my Hex, which they used last time, and Frost Shock. I got 2 Frost Shocks. And I also get this for going second, which is the coin. It costs 0 mana, and it gives you 1 mana crystal, which makes sense if you think about it, because if it costs any more than 0 mana, it would be completely useless to have. So basically, it's like, okay, he went first. He actually already passed his turn to me, because he didn't have any 1-drop to play. A 1-drop is something that costs 1 mana. So he didn't have any 1-drops to play, so he just passed the turn to me. Right now, I could deal 1 damage to him and freeze him, but that seems pointless because, like I said, if you remember from last time, you know, just attacking the character is kind of useless, especially if he has minions still to play. I could use the mana crystal, which would give me 2 mana for this turn, and then I could summon a totem if I wanted to. But again, that's not really my ideal playstyle, especially with the Shaman. You'll find that different classes play different ways. Warrior is more of an aggressive type, whereas Shaman is more of a, okay, I'm just going to sit back and wipe out everything that you have on the board. So I'm just going to go ahead and end my turn. That's a whole lot of talk for ending my turn, and it's good to just keep the coin in your back pocket just in case you need it. Okay, so he got a taunt, and he also gave him charge, which, if you remember my last game, I wouldn't really recommend that. But again, the computer does what it wants. He wasted 2 cards right there, which means he only has 3 cards right now. I have 7, including the coin, which gives me a slight advantage. Now, I could coin out to give me 3 mana, and I could hex this guy, which is what he did to me last time, and I kind of feel, I still kind of feel a little bit salty for that, so I might do that, but actually I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and summon a totem, and we'll see what it is. Alright, so this totem is actually a taunt totem, which will pretty much completely eliminate any damage that he does, because again, he has to go through it, so he has to kill this. It won't do any damage to him because, like I said, most things don't have any most totems don't have any attack. They just kind of buff you in some way, and this just kind of taunts for you. So here's where we start to get into areas that you could do things differently than me. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not the best player, but I also don't normally play with the basic decks, so these cards are kind of weird for me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I'm going to go ahead and coin out, and I'm going to Frost Shock him, which will deal 1 damage to him, but it will also freeze him. And what freezing does is, since he's frozen solid for his next turn, so he cannot attack next turn, which is good for me, because that means my taunt still stays up. Okay, so now he put out these 2 guys, and all of a sudden I might be kind of regretting that, but I don't think I am. So okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to put this out. This is already harder than the last game. The last game went so smooth. Okay, so if I put this out, all my other minions have +1 attack. So right now I can completely trade with this, which would be a good trade because this only cost me, it cost me 2 mana. Okay, so but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And really, right now I can't do anything else. So I'm kind of at the mercy of him. A good move for him to do would be to kill this with this, which would still leave this with 1 health, and then he would just hit me here for 1 damage, and then he also has another card that he can play. So I'm gonna go ahead and end my turn and see what he does. Okay, so he brings out his axe. Now he'll probably hit this with his axe. Oh, and he also armors up. So right now he is gaining board control. Okay, so he's gonna hit that. He's gonna hit that. Okay, so he's just gonna completely go for my face, which is interesting. That is also not something that a normal player would do. They would probably try to maintain board control. Clearly, they just don't think that this guy is that much of a threat. So what we're going to do is, I think we're going to... we could hex one of these guys if we really wanted to, but I like to save the hexes for the really big creatures. Like, if he puts out a really big creature that costs him, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 mana, then... me hexing it for 3 is a really good trade for me. So I'm going to go ahead and summon a random totem. We're going to see what we get here. Okay, so I have a healing totem, which means at the end of my turn, it heals all of my minions on the battlefield for 1 health. So that being said, if I do this and kill this, I still have 1 health, but at the end of my turn, which as soon as I hit this end turn button, I'm going to get 1 health back from this. So I will be back up to full health, which still won't matter if he attacks me with this or if he attacks me with this, but it's probably good to do. And now also, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Frost Shock this to freeze it and prevent it from attacking next turn. So the only way that I can foresee him killing this guy next turn is to hit it with his axe or to play a minion with charge. So we'll see what he does. Right now, I'm going to get healed again, so there, I'm back up to full health. And he plays a big guy, and he goes straight for my face again. So that's fine. This is also why I save my Hex. This cost him 5 mana to place, and this is a really scary guy, because you look at him, you look at his stats, and it's like, well, 2 attack and 7 health, so he just has a lot of health. Not so much, because every time this guy takes damage, anytime he takes at least 1 point of damage, he will gain +3 attack. If I were to hit him with this, and hit him with this, all of a sudden, we would be seeing a guy with only 4 health, but he also has 8 damage. So you kind of want to kill this guy just with 1 turn, and not think too much about it. So now we're faced with something that I can't kill. I can hex it, but he also might have even bigger creatures, and this might be something that will come back to bite me in the butt. But I think I'm not gonna hex it, and instead I'm going to put this guy down. This guy is a taunt, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him down before I don't anymore. So he's a taunt, so they have to attack him, and he also has 4 health. So that means both of them have to attack him in order to kill him. If you'll see though, because of this, normally he only has 5 attack, but because of my raid leader, which they should have killed before, and I'm gonna make him regret it, he now has 6 attack. So if this guy attacks him, yeah, he'll get 3 attack and he'll go up to 5, but he'll also only have 1 health, which I can easily get rid of, you know, with any other person. Now, I could also attack him into him, but if I do that, then they both die. That's good. Actually, that might be good. That might be better than having him die next turn. Which, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack him here. That gets rid of it. It also drops this down to only 5. But next turn, I'll have more options to play, and I don't know. I just think, like I said, this game is kind of a toss-up as far as what you can do sometimes. Now he throws down a ginormous taunt. This guy costs him 6 mana. He has 6 attack and 5 health. I could kill him with this. Because we have the same, he has the same attack as he does health, which is normally, I think, what I would do if I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of pondering out loud here. So we have a lot of different cards to use. I don't really want to just explain all the cards until I play them, but I think I am going to definitely hex this thing, which makes it a 0/1 taunt, and then I'm going to summon a totem, because really all we can do is summon a totem or do a Rockbiter weapon, which the Rockbiter weapon gives a friendly character +3 attack this turn. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon a totem and see what it is. We can still use the Rockbiter weapon if we want. That is a spell damage totem, which gives you +1 to all your spells. I don't have any spells in my hand except for this. This says it's a spell, but it doesn't. These don't mesh well. They're not friends. So what I'm gonna do here is kind of it's a weird play, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and give this guy +3 attack. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this is kind of the weird thing about Shamans, is you thought this was a 0 attack totem, and now all of a sudden it's got some splaining to do. So right here, I can either I have to get rid of this guy before I attack him. The only reason I gave him 3 attack was because I want 2 attacks to be able to attack him. So it's basically which one do I want to keep alive, because whichever one I want to keep alive, I will attack into the taunt that does 0 damage. Which I think I want to keep this guy alive.
I'll take him out.
Just because he's a big taunt and he has a lot of attack. Now this is a suicide for my totem, but it also gets rid of that big guy, and I think it was a fair trade to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that it was. And he puts down another gigantic taunt. So this turns into an interesting situation. Now I have 7 mana. This, as you can see right here, has charge and does 5 attack. So I could charge into him, do 5 attack. He also only has 2 health, or she, Reckless Rocketeer, only has 2 health, so it would be a good trade. But also, if you look, these kind of have the same stats, and this guy's already on the field. So I don't think I want to waste my charge just on this guy. And instead, I think what I want to do is, I could put down another one of them. I could put down another big taunt, or what I think I want to do is, since I have 7 mana, I could also put down both of these if I wanted to. I actually could do that, but that's okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to summon a totem first. And now you're thinking, why are you summoning a totem? Okay, well that has taunt. But now, I'm going to lay down this guy. And this guy, his battle cry is, you gain +1/+1 for each other friendly minion on the battlefield. So he can be extremely dangerous. He costs 5 mana, and as you can see, he has 4 attack and 4 health, but he gains +1/+1 for each other friendly minion. I have 3 friendly minions because your totems count as minions, which is why I summoned a totem before I summoned him. So now I have 3 here, so now he will get +3/+3, and for 5 mana, I get a +7 or 7/7 ginormous man for only 5 mana. So normally with your mana, if you want to look at a card and see if it's a good card or a bad card, and again, this is just from my personal experience, if you look at their stats, like this one for instance, it costs 4 mana. It costs 4 mana. And it has 3 attack and 5 health. Now, if you take the average of the attack and the health, it's 4, right? So for 4 mana, you're casting a guy that has an average of 4 stats because he has 3 attack and 5 health, but it averages to about 4. That's what I think the break-even point for good cards is, in my opinion. So he has 4 now, but if you see, he also has taunt, so he has an extra characteristic to him. So that's what makes him, I think, an above average card. I think he's a pretty solid pick. This one, it's 6 mana. It has 5 attack and 2 health, which averages what, to like 3 or something like that? 3.5. So 6 mana, 3.5 average. Might not be the best. It also has charge. So it's good for an instant removal. It's an instant 5 damage on the field. So it's a give or take. It's a personal preference. I normally don't pick this card unless I'm doing a super rushy deck where I just want to rush the opponent down. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so we have 0 mana left. This is why I wanted to do practice when there's no time limit, so I can just ramble on and on. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's a good trade. And then I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. This thing has to attack this before it can go against Mr. Stonewall Jackson here. Okay, and he puts down a big boy and some Murlocs. Okay, so you might think, wow, he is overwhelming you right now on the board. Well, that might be, but also he only has 1 card. I have a lot more cards at my disposal, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try and protect this guy, because right now I can kill him. I can kill his big dude with this, which is what I'm going to do. Boom. He's dead. But this guy only has 1 health. That means that this little measly Murloc man can just come in here and swoop, kill him. I mean, any of these could, but that would be his best trade right here. I want to try to prevent that for at least 1 turn. So, how do you prevent people from attacking your other minions? You put up taunt minions. And I actually also got this taunt minion. So, I have 8 mana. I could put up this guy, and I could put up this guy. I can't put up these 2. I could put up this guy and this guy, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up this guy. I'm going to put up this guy. Also, since I have 2 mana, might as well put up a totem. It's also a taunt totem. So now, he has to get through 9 points of health in taunts before he can get to this. He only has 5 points of damage on the board. So I think I'm doing pretty well as far as keeping this guy alive. So there, it gets traded. It gets traded. He armors up, and I'm assuming he's going to attack into that. Okay, so now, this is the reason that I protected this guy. Because now that he put another guy out there, that means that this guy will have killed 2 of these in 1 life. So he's taken out 2 6-mana creatures, which is 12 mana overall. For what did this guy cost me? 5 mana. So I'm up 7 mana just from this guy alone in relation to him spawning these guys. So that's kind of the trades that you want to try to make. And since I was able to protect him with a bunch of these taunts, this will be able to have a trade be made right here. So again, interesting card that I drew. Give a minion Wind Fury, which Wind Fury, some minions have that as their default, but what Wind Fury means is they can attack twice per turn. So right here, I could, and let me think about this before I say anything. I could give this guy Wind Fury. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would you give him Wind Fury? Because even if he can attack twice, as soon as he attacks into him, he's going to die. Yes, but I could give him Wind Fury, attack him once to do 7 damage to him, and then attack into him and kill him. But, again, like I said, if I was completely trying to rush this guy down, that might be what I do. But since I kind of want to, I could save my Wind Fury to kill off more of his minions, and then, you know, like I said, he only has 1 card in his hand, so he's playing against the clock here. He needs to try and burn out my health before I get too many minions on the board with all my card advantage. So I think what I'm gonna do here is, okay, there is still a way that I could keep this guy alive, and I think how I'm going to do that is I'm going to, am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to do this. Again, this is like, I think I've explained pretty much all of these cards, so you can see the plays that maybe you would make, and I'm not saying that I'm going to make the exact right plays, but this is just because I kind of want to keep this guy alive. It's really risky because he only has 1 health. But this is how I would attempt to keep this guy alive. So I'm going to put a raid leader down, which gives everybody +1 attack. Which means now he has 8 attack, which is pretty crazy, right? So I'm going to take this thing out with my totem, boom. Add the raid leader in, and all of a sudden the totems become deadly again. I have 6 mana. Now, I could put down another taunt, and I would, that would use 5 mana, and the more I think about it, I think that's the more I want to do, because he still has to go through taunts. I was going to charge him for 5 damage. I was going to charge into this, and bring him down to 2, and then I was going to finish him off with this, but that would be kind of, not very good of a trade. It's horrible wording, but you know, you get what I'm saying. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop down another taunt, which gives him even more. He has to go through 8 health on 2 different creatures. So I feel pretty good about this. And instead of attacking into him, I'm just going to let him attack me. Since I have 2 taunt minions up, he has to kill them first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and hit him right in the face. And all of a sudden, with him having 34 health at the beginning of that turn and me only having 19, the tables are beginning to turn. Okay, so he's putting down, he summoned down another creature, which, okay, he has a lot of creatures which battle cries. They split into more creatures. Let's see what we have here. We have a lot of tiny little minions to deal with. And they all have, like, pretty much, they all have 1 health. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. Let's calculate this up real quick. Because he has a lot of minions, and right now he's trying to overwhelm us, but we have a lot of damage on the board. We have 8 plus 4, which is 12, plus 2, which is 14. We also have a whole 10 mana to deal with. 5. What were we at? Okay, so that's 19. And I can also give a minion Wind Fury. So right now, if you look at this board, you're going to be like, alright, man, how am I supposed to deal with all these little minions? It's kind of going to be overwhelming, and I'm going to lose a lot of my big guys. Don't forget that when you have a lot of damage on the board, and he doesn't have, especially if he doesn't have any taunts preventing you from attacking him, yes, like I've been saying, it's good to keep board control and to keep a lot of minions off the board, but if you look at it, he only basically has 24 health. So now, I'm going to do something like this, and I'm going to attack him. and I'm going to attack him again. And I'm going to attack him again. And just for good measure, I'm going to attack him again. With this little guy, he has charge. So actually, okay, so I could give this guy Wind Fury to have him attack twice, but I'm going to just add insult to injury, and I'm going to kill him with a Wind Fury, little tiny boar. He can attack twice, and he has charge. Just enough damage. So I had way more than enough damage there. If I would have given Wind Fury to any of my other guys, he would have been completely in the red. I actually, if I think about it, I might have been able to take him down from full health to 0 health just in that turn, from adding Wind Fury to that big guy and stuff like that. But that's just kind of stuff you gotta look out for, and you gotta always in the back of your mind. It's easy to forget if you have what they call lethal, or the ability to kill your opponent. If you have lethal on the board, I think everybody has missed it. More times than not. I know I have. I notice it after I end my turn and I've attacked pretty much all of his minions, and I have no minions left, but I could have killed him, and it's just not a very good feeling. But we were able to spot that there, thankfully, and we were able to go away with the victory against the computer. I know, it was really hard. Okay, there we go. Another episode bites the dust. I think that was actually almost as long as the first one. I hope these aren't too long. Again, as the videos go on, I think they'll get shorter and shorter. I just think that in the beginning, it's good to explain as much as I can to you guys. That way, once all these are out of the way, I can just kind of play and kind of commentate on what I'm doing. But for the most part, I won't have to get too in depth, because hopefully you guys will watch these videos beforehand and you will kind of know what it is that I'm doing. So again, I know these are kind of long, and I hope they're not too drug out for you, especially if you're new to the game. I hope that you're able to, kind of follow along as best as possible. I'm pretty much recording these all in one block, so unfortunately, if they're not that easy to understand, I won't be able to fix them. It's kind of like an after the fact type thing. But if there's something that I'm completely doing wrong, then I might just go back and re-record these as soon as I post my first couple, if you guys voice your opinions strongly enough in the comment section. So I would urge you to do so. Also, let me know what you think about this game. My predictions right now, this being me recording both of these videos back to back, and recording the other ones afterwards. I think that there might be some people who are like, dude, play Call of Duty, do this, do that. This is the easiest game for me to stream, and this is really like the only game for me that I'm able to stream if you guys want consistent content. It's what I'm playing. This is like completely all that I'm playing right now. So yeah, I'm sorry if you want like a different game like Call of Duty or something, but I would urge you to, even if you're like the most diehard Call of Duty fan ever, because we've all been there. But I think if you personally would give this game a chance, even if all you do is watch it, but even if you want to play it, I think it's pretty fun. It works your brain, but at the same time, it is a lot of fun. It's kind of like those, the Magic School Bus a little bit. It's fun and educational. It's like the Math Blaster game that if you have played, then you're probably as old as I am, which is pretty old. So, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and I hope you guys look forward to more. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace, Nuggets.